So, for those that don't know about the RECast, so the RECast is a bunch of my YouTuber friends who every week they do a general media discussion about different things. It can be comparing different movies, comparing different cartoon episodes, things that typically get rebooted. So right now we'll just take a quick second to introduce everybody. Pieguy, how you doing today? You want to explain the RECast a little bit for the next minute or so?
Yeah, so the RECast is myself and my partner Monsters Review. Say hi, Monsters.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And frequently Kuro and Shadow, as well as a ton of other people in the cartoon community and beyond. And we basically just compare two episodes of usually cartoons or movies or what have you that are in some way recursive to each other, like reboots or episodes of the same idea, and just stuff like that. We're just a general animation discussion podcast.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you guys here. So Monsters, you're here too, right? Welcome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We also have a frequent RECast guest named Shadow. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty well.
That's fantastic. So we got a little something kind of different that we don't normally do on the RECast. We're gonna have a fake debate, pretty much. So we're gonna have this little discussion about Marvel movies. So the premise is what I said to them. Imagine you are a network executive, and Marvel Studios has asked you to pitch them idea for their next big superhero movie. The catch is, you're going up against two other executives who want their idea to be picked up just as much as you do. So your idea has to be the best. So you'll each take turns for about 5 minutes or so to pitch me your movie. You have a basic premise that must include any significant plot details, characters you'll be using, casting choices, marketability, or anything that you feel like might help strengthen your argument. It's really up to you however you want to sell this. Once you have all gone, you'll each have a little bit of time to rebuttal against each other, and then it's a complete free-for-all for the rest of the hour. It's all just for fun. We don't have to take this as a super serious conversation. We're just trying to be entertaining. And as always, guys, if you want to request something for me to draw in the chat, I will continue to be doing that. Ryan will be too. He's muted right now, but he's still there, so he can draw some stuff for you. So let's get started. So Pi, would you like to explain to me what your Marvel movie choice is? If you had a Phase 4 Marvel movie idea, what's your pitch?
Sure. Well, you also said these could be stupid.
They can.
I made one that was wonderfully stupid. It's called Deadpool and Captain America Team Up of the Century.
Okay.
And the idea is that Deadpool is very excited to finally be in the MCU, and so he wants to team up with his favorite superhero, Iron Man. And then, unfortunately, he learns of what happened to Iron Man, so he decides to team up with his second favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Also problems there. So he decides to team up with Captain America and doesn't realize that Cap is an old man, but decides to roll with it because Old Man Logan was cool, so Old Man Cap can be cool too. And yeah, there's themes of how the elderly can still do things. There's fight scenes that involve geriatric Captain America. The villain is Red Skull. Deadpool learns that Red Skull still exists and decides that he needs to fight Captain America again, so he kind of just goads him into villainy, and yeah, that's basically the movie.
Okay, I'm digging it. That sounds like it'd be a funny movie to see. Very Thor Ragnarok kind of vibes.
Yeah, very comedic, very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I like how Cap is old. Who would you have play the Red Skull? Would it be like the Endgame Skull, or would you try to get the original guy back, or does it really not matter?
I don't know. Some famous old actor. Who's famous and old right now?
Well, the first one that came to mind was William Dafoe, but that's just because that just popped up.
I mean, he's pretty intense.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
He could pull that off.
He could do it.
Yeah.
That, or you could try to get Hugh Jackman just for the extra lulz.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging it. It sounds like a good comedy movie. Monsters of Shadow. Who would like to go next?
I guess I'll go.
Yeah, you can go.
Alrighty.
Monsters.
Let's hear your Marvel movie.
So everybody always complains about the DCEU, right? And how Justice League had super panned reception. Same thing with Batman v Superman. And we've seen great Batman media before, like the animated series or the Dark Knight movies. But it seems like in the past few years, Warner Bros. Has been struggling. And meanwhile, Marvel's out here killing the game. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. And aside from the recent stuff that's been happening with Spider-Man and Sony, people have been generally pretty satisfied and pleased with how they've been treating these beloved superhero characters. So it begs the question, what would happen if Marvel made a Batman movie? So because Marvel doesn't have the rights to Batman, this scenario wouldn't be legally possible. But thankfully, Marvel has a character named Blackwing, who I didn't know existed until about an hour ago. So his costume and resemblance is strikingly similar to that of Batman. He has a dark blue and black suit, fabric over a metal frame, a mask shaped like a bat head, and also a cape in a wing shape. And just to provide some quick context, he appeared first in an issue of Daredevil from 1975. His real name is Joseph Manfredi. He's the son of a crime lord, so naturally he also becomes a crime lord. And originally he worked for Hydra, but overall he's a villain that just kind of fights against S.H.I.E.L.D. and primarily Daredevil. Now, his main strength is that he's an expert bat trainer. So he has this giant, huge group of mutated bats that have all of these different sizes and abilities and strengths and intelligence. So he's able to do that, and he's able to command them in whichever way he sees fit. But he's also a marksman, and he can fly short distances in his wingsuit. So now to the piece de resistance. I'll be pitching a movie that starts as a 1930s black and white noir. You see the grimy streets of some knockoff Gotham, right? Rain is hitting the streets. You see the sharp contrast and flashing lights in the metropolitan area, and a group of mobsters try to heist a shipment of prized weaponry from the local police precinct. But then Blackwing shows up and destroys them. So this opening is super cinematic, super contrasty, super serious. And then the opening happens, the initial credits roll, and after that, the movie basically turns into a Shrek-like parody of Batman. So he's still a bit of a villain, but he's also, I think he's more of an anti-hero, but not in like a Suicide Squad way, like an actually compelling way. And we feel bad for him because he can't find himself to be as competent as his father, who's this big crime lord. So he feels the need to extend himself as a force to be reckoned with. But the issue is he still lives with his dad. And his dad finds the bat training super pathetic, and his dad always complains about the smell of the guano, which is that's a fancy word for bat poop. So basically, Blackwing is trying to mutate these bats and turn them into mini super soldiers. And in the meantime, he falls in love with this girl named Batricia.
Batricia?
Yeah.
All right.
But she dumps him instead for a guy named Deuce Lame. So basically, Blackwing has to defeat this Deuce guy, and Deuce has an army of walking money bags to get his love back. And in the end, Blackwing does defeat Deuce and destroys all of his belongings, but Batricia is so unimpressed that she calls the police, and that's the end of the movie. And the great thing is about Blackwing is he has like a very small connection to the MCU. A very altered and shifted version of Blackwing appears in the Agent Carter TV series, so I don't even know if that technically counts or not. But my point is that can serve as a great launching point to introduce this obscure character to the masses. My casting choice would be Bill Hader. You might have seen him from Saturday Night Live, or recently he's been in the HBO series Barry, where he plays a hitman/actor. I think he's extremely versatile. He can do a lot of impressions. He's very funny, and I'm sure he could handle playing a wimp very well. And I just think that due to the publicity and the buzz, this would catch the attention of a lot of people.
I like how we got 2 comedy movies right off the bat. That was very detailed. Nice work,
Thanks.
dude. Yeah, I like that. Alrighty, so going up against Marvel Batman and Deadpool and Cap team up, what do you got for me, Shadow?
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so I was gonna pick a serious answer at first, but I actually ended up going with a comedy one as well. All right, picture this. Ready? This movie is Thanos' life on the farm. This movie takes place between Endgame and Infinity War. Just depicts Thanos on the farm. So like the whole movie's about his daily life, you know? We get a 20-minute long shot where he's milking a space alien cow. It's perfect. No, but it's all about Thanos farming crops, building a hut, tending the garden, getting into wacky antics. I think this would show the lighter side of Thanos, not the super evil, menacing villain we all know him as, but the giant, lovable, grimmest goofball that he truly is. I think that one of the biggest plot lines of the movie actually should be the fact that it tells us the truth about how the Infinity Stones were destroyed. You see, in Endgame, he claims it's because he didn't want to give in to temptation. But I think the true reality is that there was a space monkey on the planet with him that grabs the Infinity Gauntlet and starts running around. And we have to watch like a 30-minute plot line of Thanos trying to get this gauntlet back from this monkey, but he keeps outwitting him at every turn. You know, the Avengers...
Powerpuff Girls?
No. The Avengers were we're actually putting up a fight, but he just cannot best this monkey. Well, it turns out that at the end of the sequence, he's just about to get the gauntlet, and then the monkey snaps the gauntlet and destroys him. So he ends up blowing up the Infinity Stones, and the monkey wins in the end. And of course, not wanting to look like a fool, he ends up telling the Avengers that he did it on purpose, but that's actually the true big reveal. And honestly, the whole reason why I came up with this idea is because I thought it would be funny if I turned Thanos into a giant meme even bigger than he already was.
This is like when you find out how Nick Fury really lost his eye.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Alrighty. So we got a Tom and Jerry movie with Thanos and a monkey.
Pretty much.
We got
my gym partners a Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Old Man Cap and Deadpool teaming up, and then we got how do I describe this? Like what was his name again? I keep saying just Marvel Batman in my head. Yeah, I just keep saying Marvel Batman. Black Wing. We got Black Wing's debut film. All right, so I'll give each of you about, I don't have to time it, just whatever seems fair, like maybe like 2 to 5 minutes to respond to each person's pitch. You can say why you don't think theirs would work and why you think yours is better. We'll go in the same order, and then once everybody has had a chance to fairly respond, you guys can just free-for-all argue it out until I feel like I've decided a winner. So, Pi, what did you think of the other two pitches, and why do you think yours is still better?
I mean, they were pretty good. I feel like mine has the star power of the existing characters, Captain America and Deadpool. I also feel like Deadpool teaming up with Old Man Captain America is ridiculous, but like just believable enough that it could still be in the MCU, or even just a Deadpool movie offshoot. I like both of these other ideas, but I feel like mine's the most. I don't know. I feel like mine could fit the most with the current MCU.
Okay, fair enough. Why do you think the monkey one wouldn't work? For example, like, that monkey one.
You know, I love goofy Thanos, but I'm just not entirely sure that that's plot for a movie. You know, the second Star Wars movie of the trilogy had extended farming, like cow milking scenes, and people did not really respond well to that. So I don't know. I feel like a part of the meme of Thanos is that you take a super serious character and joke about him on the internet. If you make him a stupid, goofy character in the movie, that might just make everyone sad.
Fair enough. That's a pretty good rebuttal. Monsters, let me hear your opinions on everyone else's idea.
All right. Well,
oh, sorry, real quick. You guys can suggest me something else to draw in the chat, because I finished this Iron Man now. All right, you can go.
All right. Listen, I'm not ageist, but
it's a great start.
I'm not ageist, but I think Cap works best in his prime, and it's very rare to find an actor who blossoms into their golden years, like someone like Harrison Ford, right? Legendary for roles in movies such as Blade Runner and Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But then he comes back and he does all these crappy movies, and he reprises his role as Han Solo in The Force Awakens, where he has this lazy delivery of just, it's true, all of it. You know, like I don't know how entertaining it would be to see an old man Cap, and
it'd still be Chris Evans in prosthetics.
In prosthetic, okay.
Is he? Can he still fight? Oh wait, hang on. Let's save that for the next part.
So point is, he'd basically be a mermaid man. So he'd end up by going back to the geriatric home afterwards, and I don't know how entertaining the audience would find that. Listen, everybody loves an origin story. I feel like that Blackwing could be the next big thing, you know? And with Tom and Jerry Thanos, my gym partner's a Thanos. I feel like that content usually works better in the short format. I've seen a few of the Tom and Jerry movies, like I can't even name them, like the pirate one and Tom and Jerry Meet the Wizard of Oz, and they're messes. Memes are great. I love memes, but I feel like I also love things that are so bad that they're good. But I feel like this movie has a high likelihood of trying too hard to be funny, because I feel like memes work their best when they're super cringy or unironically funny. So if they're kind of forcing it in a way that's similar, and Marvel's had a tossy reputation with humor, a la the "what are those" joke from Black Panther. I feel like their meme references could come off as too forced and in turn just bomb in terms of the delivery.
Alrighty. So we have two out of our 3 rebuttals done. Shadow, now's your time to be uninterrupted fighting your movie before everybody can just argue and determine who's best.
All right, so my movie's automatically best because it's Thanos Farming Simulator. But anyways, I loved whoever put that in the chat. They were a genius. No, I'm with Monsters. I think an aged up Captain America wouldn't be very interesting. I mean, we'd probably have to deal with him complaining about his back aching, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just like got knocked out in one punch. I'm sorry. Deadpool's a good part, but I don't know. Well, Captain America might not do it. I'm a little iffy on that. In terms of monsters, you got a deep plot line there, but I gotta say, I got nothing. I'm gonna give it. I honestly gotta say, I actually really like Monsters plot. I can't come up with anything.
Pretend you don't like it.
I'm trying. I was trying to think of something. I don't know. It's
all right. Fair enough. We can break into the free-form discussion now. If any of you guys got some additional things you want to make.
Now, Monsters.
Yes.
You have often said to me that you do not like Disney owning everything.
Yeah.
Do you really want Disney to own like fake Batman and like just like dunk on DC? Like
yes.
Disney is now making. Oh, all right. Disney's gonna own fake DC and put regular DC.
Oh, here's the thing: they already own it. It's just untapped potential.
Would that come off as like awful that they're like not only killing it with their own?
Oh
movies,
yeah, no, they do that all the time. With they do that already.
Okay.
What would you say each of your movies would be rated?
I would love to have a nice hard R.
NC-17 for me.
Just because it's Marvel, PG-13. Although I think my own personal humor skews more into R territory, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was that.
Shadow, what would warrant that NC-17? Is Thanos like nude since he took
yes.
off armor? Like,
yeah, he's in the comfort of his own planet.
He's literally becoming a naturist.
That's a selling point you didn't offer, because that changes my opinion a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what if the monkey is a part of his secret nudist colony?
You're gonna have
the monkey is
the
monkey is offended by his nudism, so he's trying to put a stop to it. And Thanos can't have that.
Okay. Shadow, I also feel like you're just biased because there's an episode of the Powerpuff Girls with an old hero, and it's not a great episode.
It's really not.
Yeah, but people love Mermaid Man, so Monsters. I don't know what you're barking on about.
But Mermaid Man doesn't exist anymore.
So we need a new elderly hero to take up the mantle.
That's why we have Clint Eastwood, though. Have you seen like Gran Torino?
No.
That's actually a really good movie.
Or the
I like your idea, Monsters. I really do. I don't know. I just don't know how I would feel about, because like if there's one thing that DC has done well, it's Batman movies. Not necessarily the extended universe, but yeah, otherwise, yes.
Chris Nolan's films are great, and a lot of people love Tim Burton.
I mean, how about Val Kilmer Batman?
No, not Schumacher Batman. We don't need to talk about those.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Zack Snyder is kind of out. Like, the DCEU is no more. It's the worlds of DC. And, oh man, I always forget his name. The guy who directed the War for the Planet of the Apes, he is working on a new Batman movie himself, and that's the one where Robert Pattinson is going to be playing him. So I have faith in that, but there's not really much to go off on. That's just speculation. DC has shown us a Batman in the past few years, and while Ben Affleck didn't have a bad portrayal, I feel like his character was super mishandled, especially in Justice League, and it's better for us to just block that out.
I didn't see Justice League, so I couldn't tell you.
That's a good thing.
I regret seeing it.
Oh.
Just being honest.
So, I got a quick question for you, Monsters. Since your
Alright.
movie is another origin movie, which Marvel seems to not want to do anymore, how would you frame it so that people wouldn't lose interest? So it's not just a hero discovers powers, he's got an obstacle, the bad guy beats him once, then he comes back again.
Well, I think it's because in an origin story, it's usually unbelievably ambitious, and the character goes on the traditional, like Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, where they venture off into the unknown and triumph and come back with some sort of change or differing experience. This character is completely pathetic, and the thing is, unlike most superhero movies, this has like that Shrek parody quality. So it'd almost be like Shrek parodying the classic fairy tale, the Disney fairy tale. Disney has especially taken a liking to making fun of themselves in the past few years, so I feel like this would work well in that way.
But in a whole movie, like, you want superhero movie again? Is that what you want?
That was objectively, but that was before like superhero movies today. That might have been even pre Iron Man, pre MCU.
I mean, even
Kick Butt.
Yeah, Kick Butt is kind of like a superhero parody movie in a way, although it still takes itself seriously enough. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely room for making fun of superheroes. I just don't know that a whole movie that's... I don't know.
There's a superhero movie with Drake Bell.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
So with your movie, Shadow, would the
Yes.
monkey be? Would they get a real monkey? Would they CG him,
No,
or
it
are they
would-
getting
it would
Andy
be-
Serkis?
It would be a Andy Serkis. I like that idea.
I mean,
Let's go with that. Let's do that. Let's have like, yeah, I dig that.
Shadow, is there any tie-in to the MCU as a whole other than Thanos? Is there any cameos or...
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking of tying it into Star Wars with the whole milking a cow thing. I was thinking Luke
Oh my
Skywalker could
Oh
show
my
up.
god.
Disney owns both. Let's just tie them in.
It's the other half.
Yeah,
of the
it's like
planet.
Wreck-It
Yeah.
Ralph 3.
That'll be the whole big selling point. Marvel and Star Wars, they finally combine, and it's just Luke sitting in the background drinking milk for about 2 minutes, and then he leaves.
It's like, I want to go to Tashi Station to get some power converters. And in the background, Thanos just like milking a cow.
Yeah, and then he just walks up and he's like, "Hey, can I have a sip of that?" And he leaves.
Kuro, I have an important question for you.
Sure.
That purple thing on the far left of the screen, is that a Sableye?
Wait, where?
On the far left of the screen next to Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, I don't know. Ryan drew that. Ryan, are you still here? You can unmute yourself for a sec.
Not to derail this, but
No, it's
Sableye's
all
my
good.
favorite Pokemon.
I want to know what it
So-
is now too.
It looks like it's.
In fact, Ryan,
What's
yeah,
that?
you can.
What was the question?
What's this thing you drew next to Jimmy Neutron?
Let me reopen. Let me scroll back up to the screen.
That's Carl.
Yeah, no. Someone said draw your favorite Pokemon. So yeah, that's Sableye. He's my favorite Pokemon.
What? You too?
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
Oh,
He's a little
he's sucking up
ghosty
to
I don't know
Ryan
who
now. I
this
was just gonna
Pokemon
say.
is.
No, it's my favorite Pokemon. It's been well documented.
Who is this?
It's surprising to see it. Anyway, we can
All right,
continue.
word. Ryan, while you're here, what do you think of these pitches so far?
Honestly, out of all of them, my favorite is the Blackwing. Like, just because I like those kind of dark comedy origin stories. Plus, I would love to see Marvel's take on a Batman type thing.
Well, did you hear Moon Knight's getting either a movie or a series or something? He's kind of like Marvel Batman too. I just
They need to
remembered that.
cast Shia LaBeouf as him.
Yes.
Well, part of what swayed me to it was the choice of doing Bill Hader as the main character because he has a very good acting range and he's one of my favorite. So I would love to see him bouncing between like being very serious and then like seriously funny and accidentally doing stupid things.
That'll be the movie's tagline. Seriously funny.
There we go. Perfect. I'm all on board for that.
Alrighty. I
I still feel pretty tied between all three. I'm not gonna lie, they all sound like great movies. Cause like the Deadpool movie, I mean, Deadpool alone, everybody's been trying to get him in the MCU ever since like his movie came out, even before his movie came out. I do think Marvel Batman, Darkwing. I think that would be a good movie too, honestly, because with their current motivation to not do any origin stories anymore, I feel like they're kind of going too much in the other direction, and now like they're doing only continuations, and that kind of alienates a lot of the audience. As for the Thanos movie, that's just ridiculous, and I would absolutely need to see this to like really understand like what I'm supposed to be picturing right now, because wow,
Yeah,
I mean, if anything,
that's what I'm going for.
that could be like a Pixar short.
Well, it could be
Right before the
No,
next
it's like, you know, like if you asked 15 years ago if they thought that they would see all of these superheroes in the form of the Avengers and villains appear on screen, they would say, no, are you kidding me? Now, today in the year 2019, if you ask somebody, is Thanos going to appear on screen with a bunch of primates on a farm? People would say no, but it could happen.
you never
I
know.
mean, they do have that Marvel What If series coming.
Yeah.
They do.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I should pitch this to them.
There you go.
There you go.
Get Josh Brolin come back. Just
Yeah.
He's like, what do you have next planned for my character? And they're like, well, you're on a farm.
They could also loop it in, you know, like the Air Bud series. I'm fairly certain they have their own like side spin-off series that's just monkeys or chimps or something, where
Really?
like one of them was them going to space and stuff. Yeah, maybe that could be a tie-in. It could, because you know Disney has done stuff with Air Bud before.
I forgot all about Air Bud.
There actually is, I mean, there's several monkey characters in the MCU, or not in the MCU, but in Marvel Comics.
Well, you see, it's got to be a space monkey, not just like a regular monkey.
Or Cosmo.
It's got to be native to the planet that Thanos invades or resides in. I guess he doesn't really invade.
So is it an alien monkey? Is it Spider Monkey?
It's an alien. Yeah. let's try that in
There
too.
you
Why
go.
not?
Kuro.
All right,
Alright.
all right. Now we're appealing.
Now I have your vote, right?
I will say, Monsters, to your credit, the one thing that I really have been wanting from Marvel is a movie where it is like either an anti-hero or a straight-up villain. We kind of have the Guardians of the Galaxy, but they're morally ambiguous in the sense that they kind of steal things sometimes, not that they're like just outright like villains. So that would kind of fill it. I mean, I would also argue that Deadpool could kind of also fill that space, but
Yeah.
Shadow, yeah, I like your ideas of what if maybe.
It can be a part of the MVP series. That's what I was forgetting. Have you guys ever seen Most Valuable Primate? No.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
All right, so I think we gotta start narrowing it down now. So I'm gonna eliminate one. I'm going based off of the logistics, because the ideas I honestly think they're all great ideas, despite how ridiculous they are. But I'm not sure the Thanos monkey plotline could last more than 30 minutes. I think it would be a great short, and I would love to see it. But an entire because movies are like 2.5 hours now.
Oh yeah, no, I went into this not expecting to win. I just wanted to come up with a ridiculous idea. So I totally agree.
I
it
mean,
wouldn't work in the
that
movie.
was one hell of an idea.
Yeah.
So right now it's between Pie and Monsters. Give me titles for your movies.
Mine is Deadpool and Captain America, team up of the century.
Alrighty,
Century, like, 'cause he's over
team up
100
of the
years old.
century.
Yeah.
And Monsters, is yours just Darkwing?
No, it'd be like
The Darkwing
it'd be like
Begins?
yeah, it's something like Blackwing Infinity or like
It's not Darkwing, Kuro. That's Disney.
yeah,
I mean,
it's not Darkwing Duck.
No, Dark.
We could get Darkwing Duck in the MCU now.
We could. It could be
Maybe
Howard the
Howard-
Duck's alter ego.
The Blackwing Bulls or something.
Okay, so Monsters and Pie. One of you guys got to take the other out. Let's start getting to the nitty gritty. I need to hear why you think your idea is better than theirs. And don't be afraid to not pull punches now, because now we're in the final round.
Have we had an elderly superhero on the big screen? This is representation is important in our society, and I feel like there is a large group that's a large demographic that you could tap into. You take the hotness of Chris Evans and you put him in a body that's appealing to the and then you got Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, which will clearly appeal to our generation. So I feel like this movie demographically is going to do really well for Disney and the studio, and representatively, culturally, it's an important film. Also, fans will love to see Red Skull back and actually doing something this time.
Those are some great points. I'm not gonna lie. You might be persuading me right there. Monsters, you gonna let them rope me in like that?
I don't think so. No, I mean there are some elderly representation forms in the MCU. I mean, we have Nick Fury. I believe
Whoa!
Samuel L. Jackson is in his late 60s, maybe early 70s. Same thing with Robert Redford. He plays a fair role in the Winter Soldier. Also a little bit in
He's not a
Endgame.
hero, and he doesn't have any powers.
Well, the thing is, Captain America, he doesn't have his vibranium shield because he gave it to Falcon, and
Deadpool makes him a new one out of cardboard.
And the super serum works well when he's young because he's still youthful, but because he's old, who knows how well that works anymore? I mean, even if he has the super serum, this thing was developed in the 1940s by Tony Stark's dad. Who knows how advanced or how primitive it is? And the body nonetheless still has some sort of natural decomposition. I mean, we're all slowly dying. Am I right?
Good pitch, Monsters. Good pitch.
And the
Keep
thing
it up.
is, no offense to the elderly crowd, but there's not a lot of great movies that are targeted towards older people. Like, have you seen that recent movie with Jane Fonda about cheerleading? It's called
Clearly
like
not.
Palms or something. It's not a good movie. The Book Club, they have all sorts of gimmicky old movies that don't work that well. It's Hallmark Channel material. Now, with this, I feel like it's an unbelievably relatable story because I think we're all pathetic in some sense. I think that can get some instinctual relatability, and we can really understand his level. Bill Hader is unbelievably versatile. The amount of facial expressions and voices and mocking he can do would lend itself great to the comedic timing, and that's another thing. Marvel has never really solidified itself as having great comedy. I can't really think of a Marvel movie that's actually made me laugh out loud. And by Marvel, I mean not like Deadpool, because that's different. That's rated R. I'm talking about because most of the time it's just like these non sequiturs or pop culture references where it's like the back off Squidward, like that sort of thing. But this would also be unbelievably action-packed. As I mentioned before, Bill Hader has experience on Barry playing a hitman. And I think who wouldn't want to see a giant army of CGI mutated bats in all sorts of shapes, sizes, different abilities? They could almost be like the Minions. Have you ever seen the movie Despicable Me? Like, there could be a bat who's really stupid, but he's huge, so he clobbers them like the Hulk. And maybe there's a smart one who wears glasses, and he's able to fly above and pinpoint certain strategic positions. And this all the while, Bill Hader's flying around in a pathetic bat suit, and his room smells like bat poop. I think that this would lend itself great to Marvel's formula.
Wait, Darkwing can fly?
In short distances with his fabric suit, yes.
Okay.
Blackwing.
I have to change the name to
Blackwing. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. I will never get this right. It's Darkwing now. That's my executive note. If you want your movie to get picked up, you got to rename the character Darkwing. Or is that the right one? No, it's Nightwing.
That is a compromise I would be willing. I don't know if Kevin Feige would be.
Yeah, we gotta get past good old Kevin. So it sounds like each of your movie has a lot to offer in the opposite directions. Like, Pie's definitely the first thing I think of is fan service, but not in a sense that like they're just making a movie to appeal to people, but people genuinely love Captain America. People have wanted Deadpool in the MCU for years. And the fact that it could also be canon too, like you're rolling with the fact that Cap's old. And like how he first went to Iron Man, then went to Spider-Man. I'd like that. I'd like to see that in the movie too. Whereas with your Blackwing movie, is that right?
Yes.
I think the Bill Hader part is really selling it too. And the bats, you don't, I mean, aside from Rocket, Marvel really doesn't experiment a lot with animals. There was the cat in Captain Marvel, but a lot of people didn't like that.
Imagine the celebrity casting availabilities. You know, like who's a celebrity you really like? Ryan Reynolds. What if you could get Ryan Reynolds to voice a really quick-witted?
They wouldn't.
You mean
double dip it
Deadpool?
Like that. They wouldn't do it.
What if his name is Deadbat?
Dead bat. I mean,
amazing.
that's just roadkill.
Yeah,
Dead
you've seen it
bat.
before. When I was a kid, there was a bat that had rabies that I found in a trash can, and that's a true.
Well,
I don't think you should be pitching with dead animals.
Maybe I am Blackwing because the bat that I found in my trash can when I was 6 years old that had rabies gave me those powers.
I
Are
see.
you gonna pick this up? This guy's kind of stenching of desperation.
Yeah.
Maybe I have rabies.
I think. All right, here's my final deciding voter. So you're going with Red Skull as your enemy, right?
Yes.
Monsters. Who is he fighting?
Himself.
Himself.
Primarily himself because he's an anti-hero that has a struggle with maturity. But no, he'd also be fighting against Deuce Lame, who's a crappy parody of Bruce Wayne.
Okay. All right, I guess I got to decide one now.
Yeah.
Because I really would like to see both of these movies. I'm not gonna lie. But I think the Deadpool and Captain America one is the one I'm going with.
Yeah,
Just because just because of the familiarity sense. Like because at this point, when I think about it, at this point in the MCU, I'm tired of learning about new people. And it's weird because like if it wasn't in the MCU and it was just another movie, you'd be like, okay, yeah, but just because of the fact it's part of the MCU, you got to keep track of all of these. Like that's, I don't know if you guys have seen Young Justice by now, but that's one bad thing the show does is every season they literally introduce like 20 new characters, and by season 3 there's so many characters, like the same character appearing in 2 episodes in a row outside of like the main like 3 characters is very rare. Like there's so like
the thing is, like, do they, with the characters that they swap out, do they have like completed arcs, or do they have enough screen time to warrant them?
they don't even swap them out. They're there too. The whole cast
wow.
stays. They just keep adding and adding and adding. Yeah, it's like oof. Not sure. I mean, you could just, they do it in a way where like if you don't care about the new characters, you don't have to unless they have to do with the plot, but it's still like a lot. So I'm going with Captain America and Deadpool just for the familiarity sense and the fact that Deadpool would be in the MCU, and I think this is a great way to do it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Sure.
But I'm digging.
Good job to everybody.
Yeah, and it'll start with a 10-minute short of the Thanos monkey, and maybe it'll end with a teaser.
Yeah, there we go.
End with a teaser for Darkwing. Blackwing.
Darkwing Duck. Kuro, since we have a little bit of time, I gotta say I actually saw your death battle video.
Oh,
It's a tad late, but I just wanted to say you did a good job.
thank you. I'm always proud when I get to defend my Omni Boy correctly. If you check the stream, I just drew a monkey from Dexter's Lab with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Dial M for monkey.
Yeah,
Amazing.
wonderful. So yeah, I hope you guys like this discussion. Pie Monsters and Shadow always make for great discussions. You can hear a lot of episodes with me and Shadow on the RECast over on Pieguy's channel. It's Pieguy Rules, RULZ. And Pie Monsters are in every episode. They host it, so there's always talking about good discussions. It's a lot of the things I wouldn't have even thought of myself, but I am very ignorant to a lot of media. But every time I go on, it's a blast. Every time I listen to an episode I'm not on, I still like it. Definitely check it out, youtube.com/PieGuyRules. Any closing remarks you guys would like to throw out while you guys are live on the Ink Tank?
If you want to watch Kuro like explain obscure Ben 10 randomness, then the previous episode of the RECast, what is it, Ben 10,000 Something like
Yeah,
that.
Ben
Epic.
10,000 versus Ben 10,000 Returns versus, and then there was none / and then there was.
That is correct.
You don't have to be a Ben 10 fan to watch it. If you know, the less you know about Ben 10, the more enjoyment you'll probably get out of it anyway. It's episode 54, Enter the Omniverse.
You know, there's 54 episodes too, so you guys got a lot of content to shuffle through if you're still new to it. And of course, Monsters and Shadow, they do have their own channels as well. Monsters Review, all one word, and Shadow Streak, STREAK. That's one word too, I believe. Is it, or is it two words?
No, I have a space.
You have a space. Shadow Streak's got a space. Monsters doesn't, or do you?
I do not have a space.
You do not. Okay. And is Blackwing?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, just go check them out. I'm sure there's some content on there that you guys would enjoy. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on, and I'll see you guys next time I'm on the RECast. Maybe in a few weeks, who knows? I always show up every now and then.
Yeah,
Good
thank
luck
you,
with
man.
the rest of the stream, man.
Thank you very much, and yeah, again, thank you guys for being on here.
Please,
Yeah, of
please
course.
donate to Kuro. He's got a very bright future ahead, and you can help him get there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, take it easy, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Awesome.
Bye.
Ryan, if you want to jump back on, that would be fantastic. Mr. Ryan.
Well, if you insist.